that I couldn't handle. The vandal, lit up with my candle, getting pretty mangled with the poison, my 7-leaf poison, and then I pause.
I've been Anthony Tunnicliffe, Albert Lane, Marco Polo, Mr. Nice, Albie, Her Majesty's Prison number 126593, United States Federal Prison number 41526-004, and Howard Marks. I was a physics graduate of Oxford, a philosophy graduate of Sussex, a teacher, an MI6 agent, a drug smuggler, a prisoner, a writer, a DJ. But through all these changing identities and careers, my constant aim has been to break down the frontiers and explore the world of cannabis.
So jump on that bus like Reeves in Speed, cause every man has one basic need. So let's use that seed like the good Lord instructed. Don't fret about the pigs, cause they are corrupted.
Die US-amerikanische Drogenpolizei DEA schätzt, dass Howard Marks zwischen Anfang der 70er und Ende der 80er Jahre für mindestens 10% des gesamten Welthandels mit Haschisch und Marihuana alleine verantwortlich war. Er hat ausschließlich sogenannte weiche Drogen verschoben. Nach eigenen Angaben sei hierin mehr als nur die Möglichkeit, Geld zu verdienen. Er habe auch eine Art Bestimmung erfüllen wollen, erklärt er. Howard Marks ist jetzt 53 Jahre alt, stammt aus Kenfig Hill, einem Dorf in Wales. Ende der 60er Jahre begann er ein Physikstudium in Oxford. Sein erster Joint während der Studienzeit veränderte sein Leben. Marks und einige seiner Kollegen begannen zu dealen. Er und seine Freunde bekamen die Ware aus London von Pakistanis, die mittels Diplomatenausweisen Haschisch nach England einschleusten. Marks und seine Freunde waren damals fast das letzte Glied der Dealerkette. Sie wollten aber mehr, denn sie sahen, welche Gewinnspannen ihre Zulieferer einstrichen. Sie wollten selbst importieren und richtig abkassieren. Sie suchten und fanden Kontakt zu einem gewissen Jim McCann. Man traf sich in Irland. McCann war der Waffenlieferant der irisch-republikanischen Armee, IRA. Der Mann war undurchsichtig und unberechenbar, auf gewisse Weise regelrecht irre, aber er verstand sein Handwerk. McCann schleuste das Haschisch über den Freihafen Shannon und den irischen Westküste ein. Marks wiederum übernahm und brachte das Dope zumeist per Fähre nach England und verkaufte an Zwischenhändler. Das Geschäft boomte. Bereits 1972 war Howard Marks ein schwerreicher Mann. An jeder Tonne verdiente er ca. 50.000 britische Pfund, was nach damaligem Wechselkurs in etwa 220.000 Mark entsprach. Der Geheimdienst des britischen Außenministeriums MI6 interessierte sich für ihn und warb Marks als Agent an. Er sollte die ERA ausspionieren. Marks versuchte, die MI6-Verbindung für sich und seine Interessen zu nutzen, was sogar eine Weile lang funktionierte. Der US-Markt wurde ab 1973 ebenfalls von Marks & Co. beliefert. Im Equipment von Rockband schmuggelte man tonnenweise Haschisch in die USA. Im sicheren Gefühl, sich alles erlauben zu können, unterliefen dem frisch gebackenen Megadealer allerdings Fehler. 1973 wurde er verhaftet. In England kam er auf Kaution frei, entzog sich seiner Verhandlung und tauchte unter. Marks benutzte fortan 43 verschiedene Namen und Pässe, wickelte seine globalen Deals über Dutzende Scheinfirmen in London, Karachi, Bangkok und Hongkong ab. (1980) wurde Marks wieder vom britischen Zoll verhaftet. Diesmal kam es zum Prozess, und zwar vor dem höchsten britischen Gericht, die Old Bailey. Marks wartete mit einer irren Agentenstory als Verteidigung auf. Er sei MI6-Mann und Agent des mexikanischen Geheimdienstes. Seine Aufgabe sei es gewesen, Terroristen wie Jim McCann im Geheimdienstauftrag in Dope-Deals zu verwickeln. Tatsächlich war die ganze Story zu großen Teilen frei erfunden. Aber Howard Marks wurde nach einem spektakulären Prozess freigesprochen. Nach seinem Freispruch 1982 drehte Marks erst richtig auf. Die Mengen wurden immer gewaltiger, die Wege immer abenteuerlicher. Speziell mit Pakistan verbanden ihn enge Beziehungen. Scheinbar wussten sogar hohe Regierungsbeamte über Marx und seine Geschäfte genau Bescheid, deckten ihn. Während dieser Zeit arbeitete Howard Marks auch mit korrupten CIA-Leuten zusammen, die ihrerseits Hintermänner in Washington hatten. Sie kauften bei ihm Dope, transportierten die Ladung auf CIA-Schiffen zu Navy-Stützpunkten, wo die Ware entladen wurde. So intim sein Draht zur CIA zeitweilig auch war, so sehr war eine andere US-Behörde bemüht, Marks aus dem Verkehr zu ziehen. Für den DEA-Mann Craig Lovato war es eine Art Lebensaufgabe geworden, Marks hinter Gitter zu bringen. 1988, nach einer enormen Fahndungsaktion, gelang es der DEA, Howard Marks in Spanien festnehmen zu lassen. 1990 wurde er an die USA ausgeliefert und in Miami zu 25 Jahren Hochsicherheitsgefängnis verurteilt. Er saß 5 Jahre ab und wurde 1995 nach England abgeschoben. Was zu seiner vorzeitigen Abschiebung führte, ist allerdings unbekannt. Marx schrieb bereits zu Haftzeiten seine Erlebnisse auf und veröffentlichte ein Buch mit dem Titel Mr. Nice in Anlehnung an seine Lieblingstarnnamen. Dieses Buch wurde in England zu einem 200.000-fach verkauften Bestseller, der mittlerweile auch auf Deutsch erschienen ist. Als Dope-Schmuggler hat Howard Marks zig Millionen verdient.
Obviously, for most smokers, it means going over for a weekend in Amsterdam, getting about half an ounce and snicking it up your ass and flying back with it or hiding it somewhere. Obviously, when you smuggle large quantities, it's a very, very different affair. 5 tons, well, say a ton, a 20-foot container would take about 5 tons of marijuana and take about 5 times as much hash. Until I bought in the Columbia into Scotland, I'd only dealt with large amounts of hash, up to about 4 or 5 tons. So that 4 or 5 tons of hash would get into about a quarter of that, whereas the whole of it would be required for 5 tons of marijuana. So, yeah, that's about 5 tons worth of marijuana.
You couldn't stick that up your ass, could you?
Depends on the size of your ass, of course, but I doubt it.
From the late 60s to the late 80s, I travelled the world arranging shipments of tons of dope from here, there and everywhere. Some unlikely things became important. One of these was packing my bags when checking out of a hotel. In the old days, if I was away doing a dope deal, then packing before leaving the country of origin was very important, because I'd usually be carrying some kind of airway bill or some documentation, and definitely didn't want to get busted. Probably be a fugitive or something with a phony passport. So again, definitely wouldn't want to get busted. So the first thing is to do is to make sure that whatever I went to the airport with didn't have any traces of dope. Now, if necessary, that would mean leaving some of my own clothes behind, or with other people who happen to be in the same hotel to wash for me or throw away. Got to start with what's come from the laundry. It's definitely okay. So this could go in the case. So this is okay because it's come from the laundry. You only got to fold it. As a smuggler, I spent thousands of nights in different hotels all over the world. Amazingly, I never had anything stolen. Once I fell asleep with my door open and over $1 million in a suitcase next to my bed. It was still there when I woke up. People don't often nick huge suitcases, probably because they don't imagine cases of such size could possibly be full of cash. This is your complete. You know this sort of stuff, that actually takes the smell away from the bag. If you've had dope in there before, they throw these sort of things in there. I don't know what that is. That's what it's such. I mean, bathrooms get very, very used. by dope smokers in hotels because they always having to get rid of bits of tobacco and bits of cardboard and even bits of dope sometimes. If you look in my loo, for example, you can see some ash and bits and pieces of everything. Clearly don't come from my arse. Soap worth making, no mistake. I was surprised when we went to the ganja fields how many different strains were being grown and how many of those strains had actually been devised and produced in Holland, which is where we're going to next. I'm going to talk to Ben Dronkers there about making a Mr. Nice seed or strain. Strain doesn't seem the right word. Just a nice something. See, hopefully, but it should be very, very good. And it'll be the best of ever. Okay, leaving Jamaica for Amsterdam. First place I got busted.
It seems odd when you think about it, that I was first busted in Amsterdam, especially as the coffee shops had just started opening there in '73. After all, it was the one place in the world that it was safe to smoke as much dope as one wanted. Then dealers started to think that it was a safe place to deal as well, but actually it wasn't. There were so many dealers there that virtually every law enforcement agency in the world sent representatives to Amsterdam to find out what was going on.
You want to drink a coffee first?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you're happy
You had
to.
a good
Yeah.
journey as well?
Yeah, everything fine. Everything fine. Just come back from Jamaica, which was excellent.
Yeah.
Ben Dronkers, founder of the Sensi Seed Bank, is an old friend. As well as the Sensi Seed Bank, Ben has founded the Cannabis Museum, which receives over 80,000 visitors a year.
Can I get in for nothing?
Yeah, you can come in. Outside your picture is right on the record.
I noticed. Oh, thank you very much for that, man.
A lot of people know you. We got a lot of comments on that.
Yes,
Your book is in front, I think, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Well received.
They do well in England.
Well, this is the museum, you know, and what it's all about is this beautiful plant.
That's lovely, that one.
We have some items. Even the police give us some items, like this dildo.
Do they?
They busted that, and there was some hash in it. So the book, you know, we got from the cops.
This is a good one, yeah, to have a look at. It's a kind of summary of therapeutic properties of cannabis.
It's about 80 years ago, 85 years ago, doctors prescribed cannabis to guys who jerks off, you know, for masturbation.
Or to help them or to stop them?
To stop them.
To stop them.
It says this could be you know. So you can
So
be
you see it, yeah.
behind the bars.
Now and then, yeah.
Oh, what a wonderful gift.
Yeah, great.
Real life.
Ben, I'd like to give you this to put in the display next to my book, if that's all right.
Yeah.
What enabled me to get Coke in prisons.
Right, eh?
Coca-Cola, of course.
Yeah. This is your prison card, so you have to... As an
Yeah,
ID.
it is the ID in prison.
And you use it also in the machine?
Yes, it's a vending card and an identity. So you can get Coca-Cola, sweets, chocolate, and prove who you are.
We will take very care of it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Howard.
No, you're very, very
We
welcome.
always honor you in this place because one thing we have to say that from my point of view, and I think that is the point of view from the museum and millions of people who smoke marijuana, you were one of the guys who brought it, you know? I mean, we couldn't smoke the joints without you guys. And we will write the story about... Okay, we do that as well, eh? All right, like that?
Yeah.
Just outside Amsterdam, Ben has set up what he calls Cannabis Castle. It's a sophisticated operation to keep the Sensi seed bank stocked and to develop new strains. It's here that they have been developing a type of marijuana known as Mr. Nice.
Ben tests his marijuana by smoking some of all the recently cut strains and seeing which one he automatically ends up smoking all the time. You can guarantee that's the best one.
Some of the plants are 20 years, 17 years, 14 years. So we keep them going all the time.
I see, right.
And we call it the mother room, so we got
So you keep
a lot of
everything
different
going, so that-
strains
yeah.
going. And
So
we
this
don't
is
know-
preservation
Yeah.
of strains.
Yeah, right. We don't use any insecticides or pesticides. But like I said, you know, not many people know because everybody smoke Sensimilia.
Yes, yeah.
Female plants.
Yes, yeah.
And most of the growers don't even know how a male look like because
Right.
in Holland they mainly buy clones.
Of course, yeah.
And it is not the best idea because in that sense, you know, in a way, clones from clones and clones, the way they do it, they degenerate.
The degenerate eventually, of course, yeah.
It's fun though. For the rest, it's the same story.
Marijuana plants here are cloned. That is, they are produced from cuttings from an original mother plant.
This is NL5, and the SP there, the yellow one, is the new variety. And actually this will be the G13, Mr. Nice.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. The beautiful story about G13
Yeah.
is really connected to you. The DEA, about 20 years ago, they grow marijuana, and they have grow rooms,
Yeah.
like we have.
Yes.
And they have grow room number 13. And grow room number 13, one of the technicians nicked one plant. And that plant goes around in the growing scene.
Yes, yeah.
And also that plant came to Holland. And we didn't do nothing much with it except crossbreedings.
Yes, yeah.
But now we brought it back in the market. It's very nice quality. And because of this DEA story, the DEA had it in prison there.
Yes, yeah.
And they had you in prison there. Well, you're out.
So let's
and
let G13 out.
G13 is out. You know, this is I like that. It's very nice. Besides breeding seeds for the market we sell,
Yes, yeah.
but we do also a lot of experimenting still.
A lot of
we always
research,
play
yeah,
around.
yeah,
and
yeah.
As a fugitive, I was obviously trying to avoid recognition. Now, as a blatantly self-promoting author, I'm obviously trying to encourage recognition. It's a complete flip side. The fame thing is inverted, and so has the fortune. There don't seem to be many celebrity drug smugglers around, and I didn't expect to be in this position. One can't really be a celebrity successful drug smuggler. It's almost an oxymoron. A successful drug smuggler isn't known for his activities. Therefore, I'm not a successful drug smuggler.
Mae'n fucking hash o ganja.
Most aspects of being famous, I like a lot. I don't know why celebrities complain about it. It seems like quite a lot of fun to me.
Maybe it's a sort of hangover from my days as a smuggler, but I still like to carry a small amount of hash across borders. I suppose I see it as a sort of good luck charm. I also try other ways of transporting personal amounts around the world.
I drove up to the ferry terminal of Cork. The back seat looked like a rockery covered with a bit of canvas. You know, there was kind of huge kilos of hash poking out here, there and everywhere. And I turned up at the ferry terminal far too early and asked the customs officer what time should I turn up. And he said that it must be at least an hour and a half. He said, why don't you go back to town for a drink? And he said, and if you are, would you mind giving me a lift? So he actually sat on lumps of hash. I took him into Cork, dropped him off, went for a drink, went back to the ferry, and successfully drove the car over to England.
Now in Lugano. That's Lake Lugano. The other side of the lake is where we're going to, which is where I buried the passport. It's been 11 years since I was here last, and I was just a short visit. But I know it so well. It's odd coming back to a place you know so well after a very long time. And very little seems to have changed so far. Campione means like enclave, so Campione in Italian means an enclave of Italy. So at this point we cut crossing the Italian-Swiss border. Now in Italy, and I used to live here. It's up there that I live. One of these hanging over here, up there. Yeah, well, it was over here I did it, I think, yeah. This, like, playground bit is certainly new. I mean, there was a playground here, but obviously the bits and pieces are new. 19 years ago, I decided that using Mr. Nice was becoming rather embarrassing because the name had become known by various authorities. So I asked a friend of mine to come out here and get my Mr. Nice passport from my apartment, which is just up there, and bury it. The trouble is when you bury something, quite often forget exactly where it was or where it was buried. Might have changed a bit, you might have built something on it. Also, whether you actually buried it yourself or not. This particular one, I didn't bury it, so it's very, very hard to remember exactly where I buried it. But I do remember where he told me he'd buried it, and it was here. It's not the only passport I buried, actually. I buried another one and found that one, but not with such a long time gap. So I don't know what the hell we meant to do. I mean, I know it's somewhere around here. This thing won't even go into the ground. So, you got a bulldozer? Or one of those mechanical diggers or so? And anyway, it would have expired by now. Wouldn't be much use. Plus, it'd be a bit hot. used to live in here when I was doing a lot of work smuggling out in Pakistan, India, and Thailand. And the contrast, being in the fields out there, and then a mad drive to Karachi on the plane, in Zurich, and then suddenly here, waiting for the phone call. It was good, and the phones work. Probably recognise the Campione. When I first arrived there, I was using the name Anthony Tunnicliffe. By the time I left, I was using the name Donald Nice. And there were a few in between. Oh, that's me. Hayes, I think. John Hayes. That's me as me. I kept a nickname through all that, Albie. I mean, everyone knew me as Albie despite my change of identity. Friends did. Let's see if I can find those, the garden. I think that's the garden, isn't it? That's where I buried it, out there, I think. I know there were plants, there's like soft soil, you couldn't bury it in.
Anfangs konnte ich mir das gar nicht vorstellen, dass der den Pass wirklich vergraben hat. Und Zeit hatte ich und dann habe ich gesagt, ja, ich fahre runter. Kam an um 10 Uhr, wie es auch auf den Bildern zu sehen ist. Ja, dann habe ich mir den Spielplatz mal angeguckt. Mir über das Ganze mal so einen Gedanken zu machen und dann habe ich mich vor dieser Palme hingesessen und habe mir gedacht, das kann es nicht sein, dass der den wirklich bei dieser Palme vergrabt, weil wenn man sich das vorstellt, das ist total übersichtlich. Also es muss ein Platz sein, der in irgendeiner Ecke ist, weil oben ist eine Straße, da kann man runtersehen, auf den ganzen Spielplatz. Ja, und dann habe ich mir 2, 3 Ecken ausgesucht und da habe ich dann beschlossen, in der Nacht zu graben. Bis dann am nächsten Tag, das war dann mittags oder was, also wirklich am Tageslicht und da habe ich dann mir eine Ecke ausgesucht, habe da 10 Minuten gegraben und nach 20 Zentimeter habe ich den gefunden, wie man eigentlich auf den Bildern so erkennen kann. Playground.
Yeah, that's when I tried to find the passport.
Mhm. Und ich war auf diesem...
So you found it?
Maybe.
Was anything else in that?
Das ist die Hülle, in der dein Schwager den Passport eingewickelt hat. Also es riecht...
Your brother-in-law put it in.
Yeah.
Ja. Und du kannst es riechen, es riecht 19 Jahre alt.
That's the package.
Smell it, it smells 19 years old. I never smell it.
Yeah.
It's a 19-year smell, wow.
Let's see your passport.
Hier.
Howard Marks, how do you feel having your passport after 20 years in front of you?
Well, it's a very strange feeling. Quite surprised, actually. It's quite a shock. I'm very, very glad it has been found.
What are you going to do with it?
I'll probably give it to a museum.
Yeah.
In 1984, I moved to Mallorca. Despite having been acquitted of smuggling several tons of marijuana into the UK, the taxman felt that nevertheless there was a taxable income out there, which had been made from dope smuggling. So I decided to become a foreign resident for tax purposes. I chose Mallorca primarily because it was legal to smoke marijuana there, and also because of the presence of an English-speaking community and English schools.
Hello. Welcome to Palma.
Rewind, everything's okay. Rewind, everything's okay.
This is what I do on my work. And where I wrote the book, actually, is in this office. This is some of the evidence against me, all the documentary thing. And this is my son, who is currently doing his homework and having his breakfast because he has missed school. You see his bench there? That's where a DA agent used to sit every morning to see which direction I drove to. So I'm a member of this sporting community. Have been for a long time, but tended to use it just for the phone box here. Very good. Park outside near it. You can tell if there's anyone following you very easily. You can make out like you're going for some sport. And this is it. This is the phone box I did all those multi-ton deals in the 80s from. Largely this one, not only this one. This was the main one. The only thing wrong with Spanish phone boxes is they don't have a number that you can be called back on. It's one huge disadvantage for the scammer. There's not being able to give the number of your phone box to be called back. You want to leave as little trail as possible. Theoretically, any phone call you made can be recorded, logged, documented. When you're in a hotel, you essentially never make a call from your hotel room unless it's to legal, straight business connections or whatever one's front was. I used to make a habit of just ringing the US Embassy immediately from my hotel room, or like MI6. The best thing is to avoid phone calls, really. Once I had a friend of a friend actually, called Dave Fry, who would fly 500 miles just to get off the plane, go and tell you to off and then fly back again. He simply wouldn't use phones and would fly rather than make a telephone call. Okay, it's get very sweaty in those places. Apparently there's 3 different varieties in this field. Do a lot of cloning and stuff like that, yeah.
This farm in Switzerland is able to grow large amounts of THC-rich marijuana openly, thanks to the Swiss drug laws.
Smells really nice. Marijuana is a very prolific plant. Grows just about everywhere. As you can see, there's quite a lot of it growing here, legally. Cannabis, marijuana or hemp can be grown legally in virtually every country in the world. The restraints on what kind of marijuana can be grown or what can be done with it depends on the country's individual legal system. In Britain, it is the THC content of the plant that determines whether it's legally grown or not. In Switzerland, it is quite legal to grow marijuana with a high THC content and use it as a form of aromatherapy. You put it into a bag or a pillow, whereby the person who buys it merely smells or benefits from inhaling the vapor rather than consuming the substance itself. You can see the size of these buds. They're very, very big. Now what, of course, you will notice the total absence of here is the dreaded male plant. Always get rid of these males, otherwise there'll be seeds. Sensimilia doesn't like that. Sensimilia means without seeds. If you keep the male away from it, then the female is wondering why it isn't getting pollinated. This cons the plant to exude more resin. Okay? So the female is being conned by the absence of the male to produce more stuff to get you stoned. So you keep the male away, and the female cries out for pollination and exudes something which we love to smoke. Well, sitting in a jacuzzi, smoking ganja, where apparently the best coffee in the world comes from.
in the Blue Mountains in Jamaica, and enjoying it.
Although still illegal, smoking ganja is a part of everyday life for most Jamaicans. Consequently, there are thousands of small, low-key ganja fields all over the island. Some have just a few plants for private use, but I just couldn't resist going into the hills to visit a bigger commercial setup.
First thing I noticed getting into this ganja plantation, which this clearly is, was the entire lack of hostility. The total trust extended us. The complete absence of any weapons, guns, or any of that kind of protection. We were just guided here by some very, very gentle, kind souls. Okay, we'll walk through this, a bit unsteady. Careful. Don't destroy what might be the best smoke you've ever had. In Jamaica, there's only one flowering. The difference, the immediate difference between plantation here and in Pakistan or Afghanistan is that there will be 3 flowerings and consequently 3 qualities. The first flowering being rather low in yield, but of really high quality, and so on down. Here is one flowering, now I'll go for it, and it's going to happen very, very soon here. But apparently some purple skunk here somewhere. Okay, this one is quite obviously purple skunk. Quite a deep purple there. Very, very sticky indeed. This one here, called another strain called cannabis. It's not as sticky, not as purple, but I don't know, kind of the texture is, though it's not as sticky, there's a kind of gooier sort of feel to it. This is, I think, ice, sensi, in other words, sensimilia. You know, why have all these different types, I suppose? But I don't know, it's like wine in a way. I mean, some wine gets you more pissed. Some people like the taste of some wine. There's different highs within alcohol. There's a range of different highs within ganja. Some are more suited to some people than others. It's just like anything that is worthwhile. It'll have some kind of theory of aesthetics, you know, some kind of appreciation there. And I like purple skunk a lot. But I mean, one would hardly say no to any of these other. Ice is the one they really like. This is why you see more of ice here than anything else. These are obviously ganja, marijuana, weed. You don't get hash out of these. Partly because, you know, it's not the right seed. And it's not at the right altitude. We're only at about 2,000 feet at the moment. Whereas Kabul, you know, the capital of Afghanistan, is 8,000 feet before you start. And a plant grown at that sort of high altitude is obviously closer to the sun, and the path between it and the sun is less obliterated by pollution, clouds, etc., than ones at this altitude. So the plant, to protect itself against the strong sunlight, exudes a resin, and that resin is hash. So it's not, I mean, although you can obviously get hash out of these, the yield wouldn't be anything like you'd get if you planted the same stuff on top of the Himalayas. We've cut it in the field, brought it here, Okay, this is what it gets. Then these bits are taken off and hung to dry up there. And once they dried, they cut down and you end up with this, which is basically what gets sold. Okay? Notice few seeds, okay? Hardly any seeds. There are some, but very, very few. I mean, it's just like all good skunk or anything. The better it is, the harder it is to smoke in its pure form. So it does need something else with it. See, I mean, a lot of people think tobacco is very bad for you, and depending which tobacco you use. I mean, I notice out here they mix up what looks like a cigar tobacco with it. So, you know, even in Jamaica, they mix tobacco with it to make it for a better smoke. I don't just like to point out, really, that the guys who do this work here obviously do not want to be filmed, because if they were caught doing this work, which they do very gentlemanly and peacefully, they would be put in prison. They don't often get the thanks, and they're not very often rewarded enough for what they do. Okay? I'd like to get that one down on record. Us guys in the middle do all right, you know. These guys don't. I've been performing for a while now, touring my one-man show across the country. I'm a stand-up comic. I can't stand up.
Memories fall and make no sense at all. There's no one I recall, they just faces.
The book readings were evolving or devolving into a kind of question and answer thing.
Yeah, Howard.
Yeah.
I have a question, simple question.
Go ahead.
The first joint that you smoke of the day, no matter what time it is,
Aye.
does it hit you more than whatever happens after that? The first joint.
The first joint is the best to me always, yes. I get stoned very, very quickly. What I hate about being asleep is I wake up straight. Until I performed for a month with the Edinburgh Festival, my main connection with Scotland had been landing 15 tons of Colombian weed on a remote stretch of coast.
Start to sink in when the changes begin, caused by substances in minute traces.
We unloaded all the dope in Scotland. It was all put into a large truck. And it was about 6 in the morning, and 3 of us were just walking down this very, very small country, deserted country lane. I was covered with walkie-talkies, kind of mobile phones, which were clumsier affairs then, a night scope, I mean, like, really covered with equipment. And so were my 2 friends, and we walked around the corner, and then a police car came. And this is the first police car we'd seen there for a month. My 2 friends ran into the bushes. I went up to the car, and he rolled down, and he said, "I've run out of petrol." So he said, and what are you doing here? I said, "Oh, I'm working on a film shoot. I'm just waiting for the light, and I'm just measuring the light and checking everything down here because we'll be filming here later on." And there was that was the front of what we were doing. So I told him, I said, "Well, look, I think we've got a can of petrol there, and we could give you some." And we turned up at the house where there were 15 New Yorkers who had just unloaded the dope, sitting around, and various other personnel, seeing me coming up. Obviously, I had a rant to say, "No, it's all right, he just wants petrol." "Oh, yeah, petrol, sure." Eventually got him a can of petrol. And then I also asked him to give a lift to one of the guys who was in the house, because he'd left his car a few miles away because he was too drunk. So the cop actually helped us get our act together there. Mr. Big Bass.
Yeah.